Everyone, welcome back to a new post today. Today, let's track the most important topics that you need to remember for the upcoming UPSC Preliminary Examination 2025 with regard to April 6th. So, the very first is about Defence Minister flagging off INS Sunaina and also the Indian Ocean ship called Sagar. The Defence Minister Rajnath Singh had flagged off INS Sunaina as the Indian Ocean ship Sagar in Karwar Naval Base in Karnataka. Sagar is the acronym that was coined by Prime Minister Narendra Modi for relationships in the Indian Ocean, which is security and growth for all in the region, and it's the 10th anniversary. It was launched in 2015 as an initiative to define India's relation with the Indian Ocean littoral nations, and it extends cooperation to the Indian Ocean littoral nations. This 10th anniversary of Sagar is also celebrated on the Indian National Maritime Day, that is April 6th. And as India's security and growth for all in the region initiative completes a decade, its impact on the Indian Ocean region has become more critical because of the actions of China. And it is a framework for regional cooperation, maritime security, sustainable development in the Indian Ocean region. Recently, during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Mauritius, he had also launched Mahasagar as an acronym describing relations with Mauritius at that very time. And Bastar Pandum was celebrated. It's a tribal festival. Now, Bastar is known for its tribal population, which has the highest percentage, that is 63%, the major tribes of Bastar. This region is located in Chhattisgarh. It's thickly forested, and it includes the Gond, Banj, Abuj, Maria, and Batra tribes. The tribes of the region are very unique and distinct for their tribal culture and heritage. Each tribal group in the Bastar has its own distinct culture and enjoys a very unique lifestyle of living. Each tribe has its own dialects, differs from other tribes in their costume, eating habits, customs, traditions. They worship different gods and goddesses as well. And a large number of tribal live in the deep forest, and they avoid mingling outside to protect their unique culture. The tribes of the Bastar are known for a very colorful festival, arts and crafts. The main festival is Bastar Dashera. President has given has assent to the Waqf bill. Now, Article 111 or 111 speaks about the presidential assent to the bills passed by the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. A bill becomes an act after the assent of the president. The presidential assent is also called as veto power of the president. It is described in Article 111 and 201 with regard to governor reserving bills for the president. When a bill comes to the president, he or she can give a assent, withhold assent, send back the bill if it's not a money bill for reconsideration. And if state bills are sent back for reconsideration and they again are passed by both houses or the unicameral legislature of the state, there is no compulsion that the president has to give her or his assent to the bill. Therefore, the president of India enjoys pocket veto with regard to state bills. However, if a bill is sent back after consideration of the parliament to the president must give their assent, and the presidential assent became compulsory after the 44th Amendment Act of the Constitution. Now, the assent to the bill, yes. So, there was a lot of discussion on religious and minority rights. There are two articles which deals with the minority rights in the Constitution. Article 29, which protects the rights of the minorities, guaranteeing them equal education and right to preserve their culture and language. It gives the minorities a right to preserve their distinct language, script and culture. It also gives a right to be admitted to state-funded institutions without discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste or language. And Article 29 applies to the citizen of India when they reside in the country and when they have a distinct language, script or culture. Article 30 provides the right of the minorities to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. And the madrasas have their gurukuls, madrasas, convents have their origin in Article 30. The European External Action Service was in news because the envoys of Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden and European External Action Service held a series of meetings in New Delhi yesterday with the Prime Minister's office, making discussions on climate change and the action to be taken up at the Brazil COP30 of the United Nations Framework Convention of Climate Change. Now, the European External Action Service is a diplomatic service in charge of executing all international relations of European Union. The European External Action Service is led by High Representatives of Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, who is the President of the Foreign Affairs Council and the Vice President of the European Commission, and carries the EU Common Foreign Security Policy, including the Common Security and Defence Policy as well. So recently, India and Ursula von der Leyen was the president of the European Commission was in India, and they are planning to expedite a India-EU FTA at the end of this year. The aircraft carriers of INS Vikramaditya and INS Vikrant were in news during the Varuna exercise between India and France. India currently operates 2 aircraft carriers. These are very important. I would say, infrastructure with regard to naval capacity in the Indian Ocean and other areas as well. INS Vikramaditya, however, is a Russian origin vessel, and INS Vikrant is an indigenously developed vessel that was commissioned in 2022. INS Vikramaditya, originally from Russia, entered into service in 2013, and it is a modified Kiev class carrier. INS Vikrant is the first domestically produced aircraft carrier. It is designed by Indian Navy's in-house Warship Design Bureau and built by Cochin Shipyard Limited. INS Vikrant boasts of a very high degree of indigenous content. Almost 76% of the components are built in India, and India has future plans to develop a second indigenous aircraft carrier, IAC-2, to replace INS Vikramaditya, which has been operational for almost 25 years. And in 2023, Indian Navy showcased the dual carrier operations, including INS Vikramaditya and INS Vikrant. IMF and World Bank have wrote to India to give more autonomy to the financial regulators in India. So who are exactly the financial regulators in the country? We have several financial regulatory bodies in the primary sector and the secondary region as well. We have RBI, which is the Central Bank of India and regulates the banking sector on the whole. We have the SEBI and the Exchange Board of India, which regulates secondary markets. We have the International Financial Services Center Authority. We have the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority, which regulates the insurance sector. We have the Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority, which regulates pension sector in India. We have the Forward Markets Commission, which regulates commodity future markets in India. We have the Ministry of Corporate Affairs that regulates corporate governance, corporate social responsibility, management and formation of companies in India. We have the National Housing Board, which regulates housing companies and housing sector in the country. Department of Economic Affairs, the overall fiscal and monetary policies. Financial Stability and Development Board, which is a high-level coordinating body that oversees coordinating of various financial regulatory bodies in the country. Deposit Insurance Credit Guarantee Corporation. We have the National Bank for Agriculture Rural Development, which regulates rural banking sector. We have the Small Industries Development Bank of India. We have the Insurance Ombudsman. We have the Foreign Exchange Dealers Association India, Clearing Corporation of India Limited, and the Securities Appellate Tribunal as well. So these are the most important financial regulatory bodies in the country, and we have regulatory bodies as an important topic with regard to GS paper 2 in your mains UPSC syllabus. So these are the most important topics I thought I should be tracking for you all for April 6th. If you did, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video. I shall see you in my next post. Until then, it's very happy learning.